Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to discuss the best backhand in the whole table tennis currently. Here are 3 things that make your Darko Jorgic's backhand the best in the world. Okay, welcome to my classroom. Today I'm gonna look at some videos. Here's my classroom. Here's Darko, beautiful Darko Jorgic here. Hashtag no homo. Did play against him. I believe I absolutely got whooped. We beat Slovenia back in a day. I beat Danny Kozel, so at least I got that. Just so you can grasp what's going on here. Obviously, Darko is absolutely insane backhand. As you can see, power, strength. This is just training scenarios. We're gonna look at a couple of in-game stuff, which is gonna be fantastic. But first thing I really wanted to kind of touch on is the technique. Let's talk about the technique of how Darko does it. What is kind of his fundamental way of playing that ball, and how can you implement it into your game? There have been a lot of people today in the stream that had this mistake, and I did kind of was correcting them that they shouldn't start with basically having the racket just all the way down the maximum rotation. So here's why Darko, I believe, is one of the best ever at backhand. First of all, you're gonna see that he kind of flips the racket, his body recovers. So main thing is, and obviously I have my little thing here. Obviously notice this line for him here. This line, he always plays it in front of his chest in a way. Okay. So keep in mind what I'm showing you here. He will be playing this in front of his chest almost at all times. So he kind of looks at it from chest level, and then as he picks up, the hand is incredibly relaxed. And there are kind of 3 pillars that I'm looking at. It's elbow, wrist, and he does a really fantastic job with his wrist here. Right, on balance, close to the hip. So 3 things that we need to look out for in Darko's backhand. So let's bring it back here. He's loading up here. Let's come back here. Right, he's loading up here. This elbow is straight here. This elbow almost doesn't move. It's almost non-negotiable. This is where the power comes from. I would need to, can I do a different color? Let's do a perfect color here. So this would be, oh whoops. So now this becomes his playing everything that's rotating. That's his moving. That would be purple. So as you're gonna see right now, Jesus Christ, bro. As you're gonna see right now, like his wrist and forearm does all of the power heavy lifting. His elbow is stationary. Boom. Another great thing about his backhand is even though he's keeping it in front of him, his power comes in almost from this left hip. His power is almost from this hip. So when he starts playing, when he does his motion, it's almost like his shoulder comes in and then he uses his left hip. I'll stand up for you, right? So he comes in and he kind of comes across from here. So this is the motion that kind of helps him to go in front. This is why he gets so much power, not only with his forearm, because you can play with your forearm all you want, but there still needs to be some sort of rotation in order to finish the move and finish this part right here. And this is what I believe, like, why he can put so much power in the ball. I've seen a game with him when he was playing a Slovakian defender, back in the day, and like he was just yanking it like crazy. So this is part number 1 of this: strong fundamentals. So we discussed elbow, we discussed forearm and hip, but also I want you to just look at how open he keeps his angle of the racket. I think this is very important. Right, his wrist opening up completely. He loads it. And he played, oh my God, YouTube, come on, can you listen to me, bro? He played it almost, he opens up his wrist because his wrist rotation is absolutely incredible. And there have been people that, like Fang Bo, for example, always talks about if you're looping from downspin, don't use your wrist. I completely disagree. Wrist is what creates the spin. As you can see, he comes in, but he opens the wrist before he touches the ball. So what he plays the ball when the racket is as open as it gets right here. This is too big of a stick. Can I get a smaller stick? So he meets the ball with his wrist already at maximum acceleration. It's not closed. It's not forearm then wrist. In a way, you have to look at it this way. When you play in backhand, your wrist is leading your elbow and your forearm. So because you're locking this part is always locked for you, right here. This part and this part is what gets the move. A lot of good players who have really good backhands, they use forearm, wrist at the end. What Darko does really fantastically, and this is why his, like, it's almost like a secret weapon for his backhand, is his wrist opens up first and then it kind of brings the forearm after it. This is why the wrist acceleration for his specific backhand is absolutely incredible, and this is where his power comes from. And yeah, this is just what makes with this part right here. This is what makes him almost the code of modern table tennis backhand. This is the part right here. The acceleration, the insane acceleration of his wrist. As you can see, touches the ball and wrist because the wrist already open, kind of the hand follows. And as you can see, his elbow, it's everything around the elbow. His elbow is in perfect rotation, okay? So this is pillar number one. Pillar number one of Darko Jorgic's backhand is the very strong fundamentals that he has in his game, as far as the technique. Okay, let's just look at this video now in full speed, and the power that he gets is absolutely incredible. So low, going through the ball, wrist open, wrist first. This is crazy. Just before we continue, if you want to work with me, there's always a form in the description and in the comments that you can click on, fill out, and basically let me know what your level is, and I can reach out with some more information of how we can get your coaching started today. Okay, back to the video. Second part I wanted to discuss. There's a video from WTT. Hopefully they're not gonna block me or copyright me, but let's look at this point right here specifically against Ruben Felius, and I'll show you one thing with which makes Darko fantastic at this.
Oh, brilliant.
From the first glance, nothing crazy. What I really wanted to discuss is the grip of Darko. So we're gonna notice, so even from this little nugget right here, I want you to look specifically at this finger. This finger is so goddamn deep for Darko, but that just shows how deep he grips the racket on the backhand. He pushes that racket with this thumb here. This is how I play my backhand as well. The only difference would be I don't put it as far as this, but all my coaches this is the technique that they were teaching me. This is the part. The super deep finger on the racket. And you can see, even he plays from here, he's still able to recover there. And look how deep he holds this racket. This is just like, look at this. It's the racket almost, like his finger almost covers half the racket. This is how deep he holds his paddle, and this is what brings the most control and the most rotation and the most kind of feeling towards your backhand side. This is a pillar number 2 of his technique. My third point to why Darko has the best backhand currently in the game. I believe it comes down to this, okay? I believe it comes down to this. It's really simple. You're gonna notice when he starts playing, as soon as he opens. Let's go back like just a little bit. Look how he positions himself on the table. He knows that this is his best position. So he covers basically this part of the table is basically his backhand. Forehand in very rare cases. Even his feet are positioned in a way for the maximum efficiency on the backhand. So that was kind of my point. His backhand is so dominant that it kind of takes away from different aspects of his game. His forehand is still good, but it's not as good as his backhand, so he's not even using it as much. So even his feet are positioned where his right foot is always in the front. This is no way to play forehand efficiently, but it could be a great way of playing really good backhand with the right foot in front of you, because you can rotate into it so much more efficiently, and you can have that elbow in front of you at all times with the right foot up, right? And as you can see, he still rotates to play, but if it goes to his backhand, it's over. The ball's in front. Yeah, there's some wrist rotation, but wrist comes up first. And Tommy Putzer has incredible backhand, bro. Tommy Putzer used to whoop my ass back in the day. even from this angle. Look at this, Jesus. Look at this finger position. This is incredible. Like, I always thought my coaches exaggerated, but he actually uses that technique and it just works for him the best. And yeah, he played a little bit more defensive this whole point. Look at this. He plays from the middle. If the ball's in the middle, every single coach in the world will tell you this is your time to play forehand. Every single coach in the world. He receives that backhand mostly, as you can see. Wow. And again, power comes from not only keeping it in front of you, keeping it to the side a little bit as well. As I told you, playing from left hip, this is what's gonna happen right now. I'm telling you right here. This, even though you see he's kind of his body position more centrally here, his hand is 100% going this way first, and then it explodes this way. I'll definitely need to work on my drawing skills here, but let me just do this, okay? So arrow here, right? So hand goes here, and then one more arrow, please, and then arrow explodes this way. So he comes in, brings the racket close to him, extends it to his left hip where he turns his shoulder just a little bit in order to rotate back to the middle, not all the way, but back to the middle and open his wrist. And that's why the power comes in. That's the way the most powerful backhand shots are made. Let me just quickly go. As you can see, he's getting ready more centrally. Ball comes in, shoulder turns, close to the hip, explosion. That's just what makes him. That's what makes him the best. There are obviously multiple people that have really good backhand. As you can see again, shoulder drops close to the hip, boom. And there are a lot of people that have amazing backhands. We have Harimoto, we have Fan Jindon, we have Jorgić had one of the best backhands ever. But if you look at totality and what it does to their game, I think like Darko Jorgic has the best one, because he's so backhand dominant and it builds on his game, and he's that good because of his backhand. He doesn't need to use his forehand. He uses it in extreme cases, you know what I mean? But he's just so good at that. And yeah, he legit has one of the best backhands ever. And just to quickly summarize, that's what makes him the best. It's the fundamentals, it's the grip, it's the body position. Those three pillars of Darko Jorgic's backhand make him the best currently in table tennis. And if you'd like to be coached for free, here's a video you can check out on my channel.